Hidden in the dusty plains of modern-day Bihar lie the physical remains of the most advanced intellectual epicenter of the ancient world. Centuries before Oxford, Cambridge, or Harvard laid their first bricks, this institution was already pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. It began in the 5th century. Under the heavy patronage of the Gupta Empire, India entered its golden age. At its peak, this single residential campus housed exactly 10,000 students and 2,000 teachers, living and working side by side. Scholars traveled thousands of miles across grueling terrain from China, Korea, Tibet, Turkey, and Sri Lanka, all drawn to this specific coordinate in India. Nalanda was a highly concentrated engine of human progress, where the brightest minds of entirely different cultures collided and collaborated. Getting in was notoriously difficult. At the main gates, applicants faced the Dwar Condits, elite multilingual gatekeepers who administered brutal oral exams. Only a fraction of candidates passed. Once inside, the education was completely free. The entire academic ecosystem was subsidized by the tax revenues of 200 surrounding villages, allowing scholars to focus entirely on their research. The crown jewel of the campus was the Dharma Ganja. This 9-story library complex served as the ultimate repository of human understanding. Inside were an estimated 9 million palm leaf manuscripts, covering advanced medicine, mathematics, and astronomy. These fragile, meticulously illustrated pages were the only physical record of peer-reviewed theories and discoveries meant to be passed down through generations. So, how does an institution with unparalleled funding, global reverence, and massive infrastructure simply vanish into the dirt? The most popular explanation takes us to the year 1193, with the arrival of the Turco-Afghan military general Bakhtiyar Khilji. According to legend, Khilji fell severely ill. When his own Islamic physicians failed to cure him, he reluctantly sought help from Nalanda's chief Ayurvedic scholar. The scholar secretly applied a medicinal paste to the pages of Khilji's Quran. As the general read, he inhaled the compounds and made a miraculous recovery. But instead of showing gratitude, Khilji was infuriated. He developed a deep insecurity that scholars of a different faith possessed superior medical knowledge. In retaliation, he ordered his army to slaughter the unarmed monks and set fire to the entire university complex. The library was so massive that 9 million manuscripts burned continuously for 3 to 6 months. It is a highly cinematic tale of a jealous conqueror destroying a library. Today, it is widely accepted as absolute historical fact, but that narrative ignores the primary evidence. When modern historians examine texts from that exact era, the famous Khilji legend starts to fracture. The closest written record we have is from the 13th century Persian historian Minhaj-e-Siraj in his foundational text, the Tabaqat-e-Nasiri. Minhaj explicitly records Khilji attacking a fortress and monastery called Odantapuri. He makes absolutely no mention of Nalanda. These were entirely different institutions, physically separated by miles of terrain. The attack on Nalanda appears to be a historical misattribution. Then we have the account of a Tibetan monk named Dharmaswamin, who traveled to India to study in 1234. Dharmaswamin lived and studied at Nalanda nearly 40 years after Khilji's supposed apocalyptic fire. He documented that the university was still actively functioning. A third source, the 17th century Tibetan historian Taranatha, does mention a fire at Nalanda, but he attributes it to a local conflict between Buddhist monks and Brahmin scholars, not a foreign invasion. The primary sources point to a much slower demise. Nalanda suffered from a gradual loss of royal patronage, shifting trade routes, and systemic neglect. History rarely offers the satisfaction of a simple, cartoonish villain. Instead, the reality of Nalanda is the tragic, quiet suffocation of an institution by 1,000 small cuts. For centuries, the greatest university in the world was reduced to a nameless mound of dirt, completely overgrown, until it was accidentally rediscovered by a British surveyor in 1812. The systematic destruction of a civilization's knowledge is called epistemicide. Reviving Nalanda is a direct act of defiance against that historical erasure. The modern push to rebuild the university began in 2006, sparked by the vision of former Indian President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. That vision materialized in June 2024, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated a new 455-acre Nalanda University campus. The new campus features net-zero sustainable infrastructure, a massive modern library, and an active student body representing over 20 different countries. By re-establishing this institution, India is actively positioning itself to reclaim its historical title as a Vishwa Guru, or world teacher, in the 21st century. In Sanskrit, the syllables na, alam, da translate directly to the unstoppable flow of knowledge. The original 9 million manuscripts are gone, lost to time and decay. But with the opening of the new campus, the unstoppable flow of knowledge has finally returned.